first horizon of astrology in Yoga Sutra series, I am your estimate. And today in this series, we are speaking to Astromaster Yugeja on some advanced sutras on yoga. Astromaster, in our earlier series on Shakat Yoga, you came across that said in reference to Shakat Yoga that the yoga dealt in Yoga Adhyay chapter of standard astrology textbooks have two facets. Firstly, they are formulated on certain fundamental principles of astrology, and you have discussed them in your world famous book Yoga Pushpanjali. Secondly, you have said that these yogas themselves depicts grand principles, but the extension of which dealt here is missing or unseen in textbooks. And in the conversation in the series, you also put some light on extension to be seen in Nadi Astrology fundamental principles. So in this advanced series on Shakat Yoga, we request you to put some light on these extensions of yoga in Nadi Astrology. Astromaster.
Well, perhaps you have put this question merely out of curiosity, I would say. But you don't know the gravity of this question. It is really a very difficult question, and it may not be possible for me to explain the things in few words or in few sentences. This calls for a very detailed discussion on the principles of Nadi Astrology, which is nothing but an extension of the general principles of the astrology, because Nadi Astrology is the advanced study of all those principles. Of course, there is advanced and extended study of the underlying principles of Shakat Yoga in Nadi Astrology. But to comprehend it fully, one will have to have a clear and comprehensive grasp of the deeper imports of the planets, the houses, and the signs. You see, the majority of astrologers, I would say majority of astrologers today, are not aware of the basic chemistry and geometry that links these three factors of horoscope, that is the signs, the houses, and the planets. A clear comprehension as to how these three factors are interlinked is not known to the people. And that becomes very important in Nadi Astrology. What is planet? Planets actually carry the force that actuates an event. But the force field of the planets remain confined within the ambit prescribed by the house, that the house that it owns, or the house where it is actually located in the horoscope. Now, what is house? The house basically governs the premises within the boundary of which a planet is expected to work. Now come to the sign. What is the sign? The sign is concomitant with a house. When we say a house, there is a sign. So the sign identical with the house gives the tendency for operating in a particular direction to the planets. You know, the planets get influenced more by the signs and less by the house. That's why it gets exalted or debilitated in a sign, not in any house. So the sign governs the currents of attitude to initiate any action. They are, in fact, the storehouse of various tendencies. Therefore, we may say that the planets represent the active force. The houses provide the aesthetic field, and the signs grant the kinetic potential for enabling the planet to work in accordance with the energy grid of the karmic signature of the native. Thus, you may appreciate how much complex is the matrix of these three factors working in complete concordance within the karmic globe, which is also, or which we normally call as our horoscope. Now coming back to your original question as regards to the application of underlying principles of Shakat Yoga for an advanced study in Nadi Astrology. The underlying principles of Shakat Yoga is primarily hinged on the currents of paucities emanating from the force field of the 8th house. With respect to the position of moon, the planet moon is the repository of all the karmic vibrations incidentally interacting with cosmic impulses. Round the clock, they keep on interacting with the cosmic forces. That is why many yogas are found in astrology with respect to the position of moon only. This also includes famous yogas like Gajkesari Yoga and Chandradhi Yoga, etc. Similarly, the 8th house of the horoscope is extremely important. It is that tenebrous tunnel that contains all the hidden faculties of the native. It is basically the Hiranyanal of Veda. The description of Hiranyanal is found in Rig Veda in the Suktas of 4th Rishi in the 1st Mandal. This is the black hole, actually, into which all vital forces of life is merged and sucked to cause death. As a product of death, the departed soul may attain emancipation. But in case of failure to final extinction, what will happen? The law of karmic retribution would operate. Then, propelled by the forces of, say, residual karmic runnels, the discarnate soul reaches an escape velocity to have itself released from the Maya or the seizing gravity of the black hole that continuously sucks the life force. Why I said escape velocity? Because you know that when a rocket is to be launched, it has to have escape velocity to cross over the gravity of the earth. This principle applies in occult world also. And when the discarnate soul gets released from the Maya of that black hole, represented by 8th house in the horoscope, or by the 8th position from the moon, rebirth takes place. This black hole is also represented by the sign Scorpio. And of course, it operates through the force field of the 8th house in the birth chart. That is why the location of any planet in the 8th house, reckoned from moon, assumes a special significance for deliverance of the results of, say, all sinful acts done in previous life. Please take note of the fact that the product of the active force involved in the 8th house is experienced through the 12th house, and its good or bad results, that is gains, accrue through the 6th house. Now, as a special application, I would like to say that this principle, that is underlying principle of Shakat Yoga, is clearly reflective in one of the rule or principle given in Nadi books. This rule goes something like this. In case Rahu or Saturn is located in 8th position from moon in the Navamsa diagram, and these planets operate in Mahadasha or Antardasha, the very bad effects would come to pass when Rahu or Saturn touches these planets in Gochar, that is transit. Now you can clearly see that this is a special and advanced application of the underlying principles of Shakat Yoga. See, the location of any planet in the 8th house from moon denotes the sin of the previous birth. This sin is associated with the signification of that planet and the signification of the sign in which that planet is deposited in. The effects of that sin come to pass during the operation of dasa and antardasa of that planet and is triggered by the slow moving planets, that is Saturn, Rahu and Jupiter etc. in transit. Sometimes it is also triggered by Mars and Ketu if the result has got to manifest in violent ways or in explosive manner, say accident etc. The intensity of those events can be further gauged through the number of benefic dots in that sign in Ashtak Varga. There is yet another Nadi rule. If a planet is Sadashtak to Moon in the natal chart, that is, if it is at the 6-8 nexus with the Moon and is debilitate in Navamsa or is placed in the Navamsa sign, which is identical with the 6th or the 8th house of the horoscope, extremely bad results would come to pass when Saturn or Rahu transits over that planet in Navamsa or natal chart. This is again an advanced application of the principle underlying the Shakat Yoga. For measuring the propensity of such results, we shall have to see in which Nadi Ams, out of the 150 that is given in the text, that planet is actually located in. From the names of the Nadi Ams itself, the nature of the results can be envisaged. If it is located in some cruel Nadi Ams, the effects of expected bad results would be multiplied further. Again, what we need to do? We have to draw the charts of 150th division in different ways that I have already spoken in my earlier talks. Now prepare the Das Varga commensurate with the nature of the event that we need to explore. If the planet under question repeatedly falls in the sign which is identical with the 6th or the 8th house of the natal chart, or repeatedly falls in its sign of debilitation, the expected bad results would be truly bad in actual sense. I would tell you that the planet Moon also represents Mother Goddess Parvati in Nadi Astrology. The sign Pisces represents any temple anywhere. The sign Virgo represents Shakti temple. Sign Taurus, Shiva temple. The sign Gemini, Vishnu temple. And likewise, a detailed description is taught in Nadi books. The sign Pisces also represents the seashore or bank of some river. The sign Cancer stands for some lake or ponds. Sagittarius, mountains and forests. Scorpio, the dissolute marshy lands, etc., etc. So based on the planet in question and the sign occupied by it, nature of the sin committed in previous birth, and the events likely to come to manifest in the present birth can be guessed with intelligence and accuracy. Likewise, position of Saturn or Rahu with respect to moon is also very important. It is said that Saturn, by its aspect or conjunction with moon, arrests the flight of mind. That means it clips the wings of worldly desires. You know, Sadhe-Sati of Saturn is also studied from the position of moon only in the birth chart. Moon is actually the mixer of cosmic vibrations and governs the process of interaction of karmic forces with the cosmic impulses. It mixes all the vibrations coming from cosmos. Whatever is injurious to life on earth is repelled by it. It sends them back to the cosmos again. It does not allow those virulent forces or vibrations to come to earth. That shows the importance of moon in the birth chart. It is also said in Nadi that Saturn with moon in natal chart or in transit becomes Ardhanarishwara. People read it and apply it blindly everywhere without knowing the other related details and ramifications. And that is how they fail to interpret the things properly. Saturn with moon is always not a Ardhanarishwara. It becomes Ardhanarishwara only when it conjoins moon in the sign Cancer or Taurus. In the sign Libra, Sagittarius or Aquarius, it becomes Bhasmasura. With Mars in the sign Sagittarius, it becomes Maharudra, the Pralyankar. Saturn in Libra, without being influenced by moon, is Shiva. Venus in Libra is Bhog Lakshmi. When we say that Venus is Lakshmi, then that is a general statement. In the primary texts of astrology, but in Nadi, there have been bifurcations. When Venus is in Libra, it acts like Bhog Lakshmi. When it is in Taurus, it becomes Vaibhav Lakshmi. When it is in Pisces, it is Aishwarya Lakshmi. Aishwarya can be also in the field of sadhana, meditation, and in the process of reaching or attaining higher human reaches. The same Venus in the sign Virgo becomes Vishwamohini, where the sway of Maya enwraps everything. In that condition, if Rahu or Ketu is ahead of it, all the enjoyment and comforts of life is likely to be devoured. Venus in Scorpio or Aries is called Bhujangini and drives the native towards sense or sensual gratifications. And thereby it may create poverty also. In the sign of Saturn, it is Hakni and fills the native with hankering worldly desires. Similarly, the moon in Vrishchik or in Mesa is called Karalika. Under influence of lunar nodes, it may become more virulent, more furious, and then it is called Raktadantika. When Saturn meets the Karalika or Raktadantika moon in the natal chart or in Gochar, it becomes uncontrolled Bhairava. That is Udbhranta Bhairav. So, what I mean to say, that we will have to remain cautious while extending the underlying principles of Shakat Yoga in Nadi. We need to take note of these things also. Likewise, there are too many things in Nadi astrology, and it is not possible to speak on all those things here. That is why I repeatedly say that Nadi is the advanced study of general principles of astrology. And it has got to be studied and learned under the guidance of some great scholars only. You cannot learn of your own, as people are trying today and pretending to be an expert in this science. Blind application of these rules in isolation may lead to erroneous conclusions also. So it is no joke. You cannot take the Nadi principles lightly. Everything that we find in the books, say Brihat Parasar, Hoda Shastra, etc., their advanced application and detailed ramifications are found in Nadi astrology. Say, when in Brihat Parasar Hoda Shastra, we say sun is the incarnation of Lord Rama, moon is the incarnation of Lord Krishna, likewise say Venus is the incarnation of Bhrigu, Bhagwan Bhrigu or Parusram. Then these are not mere simple statements. These have very wider ramifications in Nadi astrology. Now, what is Krishna? The divine deity or the divine force that we worship in female form as Mahakali is the same force in male form is called Krishna. So there are too many things. Every sign has a list of too many significations that are not found in the books, and unless and until you don't read under the, say, tutorship of some really great scholar, you will never be even able to lay hands on those things. And these things become very important in the process of interpretation of chart, in the process of prognostication, and in drawing conclusions. So you asked about the application of underlying principles of Shakat Yoga in Nadi Astrology. With two rules, I have explained it here, and there can be many things and many rules. All these are not possible to be explained here, but yes, I say this principle has an application in Nadi Astrology also in very special ways, for very special type of results, in specific conditions. Like that, everything is there. So, you asked the question, and that's why I told you in the beginning that it is a difficult question, and you have perhaps not appreciated its gravity. But I once again say that Nadi Astrology is very vast, superb, and matchless, because that is the very advanced study of general principles at higher level of prognostications. That's all.